It's a great day to be a Raider. Today I have the privilege of introducing two young men that are going to be leading this organization into the future. And I'm going to start off by introducing a new friend with a brand new name. His name is Mr. Tom Telesco, the General Manager of the Las Vegas Raiders. Tom, come on out. Now I'd like to introduce an old friend with a brand new name, Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Got it? So I'm going to let these two gentlemen introduce themselves to you and then allow you to ask some questions. I suggest that you ask all the questions you want and make the right ones because I don't think they're going to be talking to you too much after this. They got some work to do. All right? Introduce yourself.
Thank you. Hey, thanks everybody for coming, media and employees. So first I just want to say is, thank you to Mark Davis. This is such an iconic franchise with a storied history, and obviously all starts with the legacy of Al Davis. So I couldn't be more excited to be here, but also realize there's a tremendous responsibility with this job. So the fact that Mark and the whole leadership team is trusting me with this, I couldn't be more happy to be a part of this. So the last couple of weeks I've had a chance to meet a lot of the leadership team as we went through the interview process. I'd like to think obviously Mark was the leader of that process, but Sandra Morgan and Larry Delson, Richard Seymour, who's right here, Kenny Herrock, who's a legend in our business, and Tom Delaney. So it was a great process. It was fun to go through, and I can kind of tell from the first interview, there was a connection and a fit. And I think that's really important in this league, to feel that. And I felt that the first time through. So, and when I came back the second time, when Antonio was in there, I kind of felt that same thing. So it's so important to me and my family to be a part of the right fit in this league. And there's no doubt this is it. And again, just really thankful that they saw the same thing in me. They saw that same fit and that same culture fit. So, and the other thing I'll say is, I haven't been here long. But when you talk about the Raider way or the Raider tenets of commitment to excellence, just win, baby, once a Raider, always a Raider. I've heard of it, I know of it, I've seen it. But when you walk in this building, you can feel it. And I haven't been here long, but there is no doubt. First of all, you see it tangibly. This football facility is jaw-dropping for me. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. The resources are amazing here. That's a credit to Mark Davis and what he's put into this team. But you see that right off the bat. But the second part is, and the Raiders are known for this as far as how they treat their alumni, how they treat their former players, how they treat the families. And it is something that other NFL teams, and really all professional sports teams, they try and duplicate what they do here, but nobody does it like the Raiders. And you can feel that in this building, you can feel it from the employees. Like last night, 6 o'clock at night, my wife gets a call from Ainsley Moore, who works in football operations, and she kind of gave my wife a rundown of what's going to go on today, what's going to go on in the future. And she was so nice, so detailed, so organized. My wife gets off the phone, she's like, wow, these, they've got it there. They know how it works. And that's important. To win a championship is more than just, the head coach and general manager. It takes everybody. So to see someone like that right off the bat, hey, look, this is how you treat people, and this is how organized and detailed we're going to be. It's just a great example for the whole organization. And then lastly, I'm really excited to partner with AP right here. You can tell in the interview, right? It was really my interview, but you can tell he has that leadership trait that a head coach has to have. And it's really, to me, it feels more like, not so much follow me, but join me, which I like in football, because he's right in with the rest of us. think, your football team takes on the identity of your head coach. And that's what we're gonna have here, that's what we're gonna build around. I'm excited to start this partnership, and couldn't be more excited to be a Raider. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll pass it over to our new head coach.
I start off like I always do, at least I end, in a great house here. Patrick Brown, good to see you. But we always end all our victories a certain way in the locker room. So we got a packed house here. We'll see how everybody's vocal cord is working. So stay with me. You ready? Yeah, now we warmed up. See, that's what we're talking about. Antonio Pierce, thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mark Davis, Sandra, Richard, Tom, Larry, Ken, Raiders organization, our coaches, our players. I said at the very beginning when I had an opportunity to speak in front of everybody the first time on November 1st, I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm excited. I'm excited. The challenge that this team took on from November 1st on, and what they embraced and what they displayed out in the field, is hats off to our organization and our coaches and our players for buying in. It wasn't easy. It was something that probably many people didn't think would happen, as you say, overnight. But when you have good people in the building, when you have the belief, you have the trust, you have the accountability, you earn respect, you do it the Raider way, you buy in, you understand that nobody's bigger than the shield and the patch, and that you play for a lot more than just the name on your back. There's a lot of people that we affect by wins and losses. We understand that, and we don't take it lightly. I like to thank my family here, Jocelyn, my father, Perry, my kids, my uncle in the back came on from Bermuda in the house, Bermuda. We got the island people in here too, so appreciate everybody being here. Where are we going forward? Tom just hit on it. It's great to partner up. I think it's going to be a partnership that we can grow for many years. Hopefully that comes with a lot of W's and a lot of Raider chants. Our vision is clear. Win a division. Get into the playoffs and host that Lombardi Trophy. That's not a promise. That's our vision. Our philosophy is simple. Real simple. It's the Raider way. Pride, poise, passion, a love for the game, and just win. It starts with our DNA. Ill intent, physicality, toughness, speed, attitude, full-blown Max Crosby effort. And it goes to our staff with preparation and execution, and putting a plan together and executing throughout the week with a smile and a purpose to get a victory on every Sunday that we show up into Allegiant Stadium. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be overnight. I'm not promising anything along with Tom, but I do know this. You're going to get the best out of myself and Tom. We're going to exhaust every possible resource and ounce of sweat and tears and effort and night and minute and second that we have to turn this bad boy into a consistent winning organization that it's used to and that it deserves. One thing we know, and they're in the room, is our alumni. As you guys saw in the last game, open doors. Post game as well. Raider Nation. That bad boy good. That bad boy ready to rock. It rocked the last game. We set the tone in 2024, what it looked like going forward. And we're going to work this offseason, in the summer, and in the fall, until we get to that first home game, to see Raider Nation again, loud, rowdy, making it tough for the opponent, that black hole rocking and rolling, the Wayne Club doing this deal, Mark Davis in there clapping his hands away, you know what I'm saying, high-fiving, and put a product on the field that the Raider Nation is really proud of. And like I said before, I am humbled and honored to be a kid from inner city Los Angeles, to be the head coach of a team that he grew up watching, rooting for, cheering for, rocking the colors, rocking the starter jacket, and now sitting here doing each and every day with the purpose of one thing only, just win. Thank you.
Okay, now I'll open it up for questions from the media. Please raise your hand. Ashley and Jade are on each aisle here. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll start with Vinny.
Hey, Tom, congratulations.
Thanks, Ben.
See you in Las Vegas. From your perspective, your track record, your history, the respect that you have in the NFL, I'm sure there were other, opportunities out there for you. What about this organization at this particular time piqued your interest?
It's kind of what I said from the beginning. I mean, there's just such a storied history here and tradition. I grew up as a kid. I was obviously a football fan, NFL fan, been in the league a long time. It'd be a chance to be part of an organization with the Al Davis legacy. It's so exciting to have. And then on top of that, when you look at the resources that are here, and the head coach that's here, I think we can win. That's why I want to be here. There's two things I was really looking for. One was fit. I want to work with people that I like. And two, I want to win. And those two both go together, that we can win and work together and really enjoy this journey. It's a tough journey. I mean, it's a hard job. We all know the pressure that comes with the job. But we can work side by side with a smile on our face and get things done. So there was two things: find the right fit and a chance to win, and that's what we have here.
Sean Reed with The Athletic. Tom, how would you describe your roster building philosophy? And then kind of the second part of that, how do you go about involving the head coach in that process and making sure that they're consulted along the way?
Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't even use the word consulted. I mean, when I said partnership, it's a partnership. So obviously there's a lot of people that are part of the process. You got a scouting staff and a coaching staff. You kind of bring it all together in the end and make decisions. But as far as building a roster, you're working through the vision of the head coach. How does he want to play on offense? How does he want to play on defense? How does he want to play on special teams? And you build it that way. There's a lot of discussions. You work through things. We're going to be able to bounce ideas off each other. As far as roster construction, there's no one specific way to build a team. I do believe in the draft, and that's always, everybody always says that anyways, but I do believe in the draft. But you also have to supplement that with free agency. You have to supplement that with trade. You have to supplement that with signing players maybe are out of work or on the street looking for jobs and think they can come in and fit. You have to use every possible avenue you can under the constraints of the salary cap, which is basically every move you make, even a draft pick, there's always cap considerations that we have to work through. I think in this day and age, in this league, you better be flexible with how you build your team. It's good, it's so competitive, and we all really have the same resource when it comes to money in the cap. So, like I said, it's a partnership for a reason, because it's not a one-person job, and I don't have all the answers. So we're going to use all these people we have, scouts, coaches, and head coach, and we're going to make the right decision for the Raiders.
Tom, two questions for you. Hondo Carpenter, Sports Illustrated's Fan Nation. Number one, most general managers, when you come in, it's a place in shambles. AP has it rocking, has it rolling, and it's his team. He's put his stamp on this franchise. How big of a blessing is that to come in? You're not looking, hoping to find a coach. You got him.
Yeah, quite honestly, when I interviewed for this job, I didn't see this like it was that the head coach's job was open. Like he's the head coach. AP came in short notice and produced on the field. Didn't do anything to not have the job. So he had the job at the end of the year. He was the head coach when I came in and interviewed. That's the way I kind of looked at it. Just the way he galvanized the team, he galvanized the building, he galvanized the fan base. So that is a huge part of it, because you have to get that right. So to have that in place, obviously, a big part of taking this job is to have a leader like this that we've already seen on the field what he can do. So it's exciting.
Secondly, Drew Stanton told me, a mutual friend of ours last night, that one of your strengths as a general manager is relationship, that players can trust you in your word. Will you talk about your philosophy of relationship with players, please?
Yeah, to me, a relationship with a player is no different than a relationship with your family, with your friends. You treat them well, you're honest with them. Doesn't necessarily always mean that when you tell them they're going to like, but if you're honest with them and straight with them, I think they appreciate that. What we'll do here, which I know they do already, but these players for us, they're not just a player with a helmet on. They have families, they have lives off the field. It's important to us to know that and work through that. So And really, when you're in this spot and you're the head coach, you have players out there battling for you every game, practicing games, training room, weight room. And I realize that they're doing a great job, but I mean, you can't help to have, relationships with those guys. I mean, you're going to battle for you every week. So that's the way this business is, the way football is. That's why it's so great. It's the greatest team sport in the world. So, the players are important to me to make sure they know that we care and to make sure they know that what they need, come see us. Because we'll see, hopefully we can get that done and find the right resources for them. But yeah, it's important. I think everybody in here, you treat the players the way you treat your family.
Antonio, Juan Gutierrez here from ESPN. Firstly, I don't know if you guys had a relationship before, yourself and Tom, but how quickly did you mention the 63 points you guys put on the Chargers? But also,
Right away, you know it. Tom was going for 71, we was going for 2, and everybody
but also, how important is it to you as a young coach, relatively young coach, to have a guy who's been a GM for a decade already in the NFL?
Yeah, me and Tom had never met prior. Obviously, I watched his body of work with the San Diego Chargers, and then lastly with the Los Angeles Chargers. But obviously, when we met, when he came the other day, I could see that he was genuine, he was poised, he was calm, he had a plan, he presented it, it was well thought out. He knows I was poking at him, trying to get him going, trying to get that AP juice out of him, but he stayed very poker face, which is like, okay, cool, that's good. But I think as this relationship grows, like anything else, it's going to have its ups and downs. We got to be adults and grown men about it. We got to hash it out. We got to understand our roles, check our egos at the door like we do everybody else in the building, but understand that we got a plan. And that plan is to do it together, be hand in hand with it. I mean, obviously, if he goes down, I go down. That's just how it is. That's the nature of the beast. We get it. But that's not our plan. Our plan is to win, put a team in place that is competitive each and every week and gives ourselves an opportunity to win.
Appreciate the question, though.
I did tell him that, right? We talked about that. Yeah, he wasn't happy. He didn't see Jack's play, though, right? Can I tell you the story? So, boom, here it goes. So I'm telling you anyway. So yeah, he's like, I was getting mad. I'm coming down the elevator, and we're at score-wise, and we're pushing it on defense, and he stays in the elevator, and I think Jack Johnson just intercepted the ball while he was up there. I'm like, why? That's enough.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah. But we talked about it, hashed out, said, look, we'll do that now together going forward.
Tom, congratulations. Lee Leathers with the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, you've been in the league for a long time. Could you give a little bit of a scouting report on Antonio Pierce as a player, what you believe in, of those qualifications and those qualities that he has as a player? What do you think will translate or does translate to him as a coach?
That's a great question. If you look at his career, back to high school, where junior college first, then goes Division I linebacker, then undrafted, and then wins a starting job and has a career he had. Obviously, he's a grinder and he works, because nothing was given to him. Which, you can hang your head on that as a head coach. Because there's a lot of players in your roster, they're the same way. Not everyone in your roster is, Devontae Adams. So to have that mentality, that dog mentality that I'm going to outwork people, it's great to have. So now my scouting report on him, I may have to go look. I forgot. I kind of lost track. I may have to go look that up. But
He had a couple games. He's with the Colts.
yeah, that was way back. I think my files are gone from the Colts. But no, he was a player to be reckoned with for a long time because of his instincts, his smarts, and he can run to the football. So as we're looking for defensive players, you can just point to the head coach. Hey, if you play like him, you can play for us.
Vic Dafer from The Athletic. Congrats to both you guys. Mark mentioned there's work to be done, and I'm wondering what you guys are looking for in an offensive coordinator.
Minimum 24 points. I'll be honest, just like everything else that we've done throughout this process, I honestly believe this. I don't think everybody's meant to be for the Raiders. I don't think everybody's meant to play for the Raiders or coach for the Raiders. I think that's going to be something I really dig into as we go into that process. But more importantly, someone that's the way the game is, AP wants to run the ball. No, AP just wants to run a style of football and run the ball the football style a certain way. But it's the approach. It's being a teacher. It's being somebody that can stand in front of this room and the man that's looking at them, like you looking at me, that they believe in the plan and the process and that they're a teacher. And that they can adjust on the fly, right? Because that's what this game's about. Style of play, I think that's always going to vary. There's a lot of things that goes into that, right? We know that we have some positions on our roster that we need to look at and evaluate even more with Tom and myself as we go forward. But you know what you see in the National Football League. You got to be able to run the football, play action pass, and what are the Raiders known for? The vertical passing game, right? So we want to see the shots down the field. We want the explosive plays. So that has to be a part of the creativity. You look at the shifts, the motion, all that stuff goes into it. I'm not going to give my whole hat-away tip, but just think of when Raiders were playing really good football, and that's when your offensive coordinator hopefully is going to go forward.
I'll just go with his answer. No, I think one thing I talked about in the interview is you want to have an identity. The Raiders have an identity on offense. It's speed and get the ball downfield. So I think that's definitely want to be at least part of that. But there's more that goes along with that. As far as being able to run the ball when you have to run it, play action pass. But we'll find the right offensive coordinator that's going to fit this team at this time.
Q Myers, Raider Nation Radio 920. And Tom, with that being said, with it being the end of January, how do you attack this offseason knowing the draft's right around the corner? And how important is it that you're coming from the AFC West so you have familiarity with the division already?
Yeah, I think it helps. I mean, like AP said, the first goal is win the division. So I do have some experience there. Yeah, it's going to be, thankfully the draft's in April, so we have some time, but we got a lot of work to do. I need to get caught up with our guys here. And more than likely what I'll do, I'll kind of adjust to them from here through April, rather than having, 10, 15, 20 people adjust to me. So start on that this morning, we'll get moving on that, but looking forward to really getting in depth with the pro staff, the college staff, but we got plenty of time. It'll be good.
AP, the last time we spoke to you, you talked about not enjoying the moment. You were just grinding. So can you take us in that moment after Mark told you got the job, your dream had been reached? That first time you had to reflect after you got it, can you take us into those moments and your thoughts, please?
Yeah, I did probably like I did on October 31st when I got the first phone call. I walked outside to our practice field and just looked around. It was quiet, it was dark, looking at the stars, just kind of looking up there and just saying, wow, surreal. And then just really taking in a moment. And as you can tell, enjoying the moment, right? Today's a celebration. Today's the first step. You remember what I said? When I first got in front of this, I said my worst day is gonna be my first day. Well, this is my first day. This is gonna be my best day, and I'm gonna celebrate it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna have fun with it, because I know there's gonna be some ups and downs. There's gonna be some days where you wanna go hide in the corner. You don't wanna talk to nobody. That's why when I first got the conversation, or first got the call from Mark, that I went outside by myself and looked up to the sky.
Kasey for Las Vegas Sun, congratulations to both of you guys. Tom, I know you said it's going to be part of the process to really dig into what you have here, but I'm sure some of that's already started, just getting ready for the interviews and things. What stood out about these rosters and some of the decisions you'll have to make coming up?
Yeah, I tell you, the one thing that's kind of jumped to me, like obviously in the division, I know the Raiders pretty well, but I know them as an opponent, which is just completely different than knowing this team from being in this building, the practices every day, and everything that goes into being a football player at this level. So I've got a lot of learning to do right now to get up to speed with everything in the building, and then get up to speed with the whole roster. Like I said, it's just a big difference knowing them as opponents and rather knowing them as as the GM of this team. So got a lot of work to do coming up here. But thankfully, AP's here, so that's going to make the transition a lot smoother.
Mark Anderson, Associated Press. For either one of you, people always wonder about the quarterback. What's their evaluation of Nate, and what do you think about the position going forward?
Yeah, I would say, like what I just said before, it's like I have a lot of learning to do to figure out this team from the inside, not from the outside. Obviously, Aiden played pretty well against us, so that's a plus. But I need to get a lot more in depth with this team as far as more than just a couple games, and then talk with the staff. So we got to do that at every position, and that's really probably number one. Is at least for me, I have to get to know this team as well as I knew the team I just came from, which I don't yet. But I'm gonna get there pretty quick.
I thought you saw growth with Aiden, Jonathan. I thought in the season he was playing some really good football. Obviously, that led to some wins for us. But taking care of the football, being responsible, being more vocal, I think he put himself in a position to learn what it's like to be a pro in offseason, because he could reflect on what he just did, right? If he didn't have those opportunities, he would never know what mistakes he made. So I think it was a great learning tool for him. now that we have it on film, like Tom said, to evaluate it and really look at it going forward.
Antonio, Jesse American, NBC Las Vegas. Now that it's come to fruition, what did it mean to you, just the support that you got from the guys in your locker room, pushing through to get this job?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it. The reason the National Football League is the greatest sport in America is because of the players. And most of the time when the players speak, we listen. When the players play, we watch, right? And they did both this year. So to have that support, being a former player, to understand what it's like, and now the way in the day of the age we're in, where your voice matters, we have a lot of platforms to do it. Just gotta be careful, right? Gotta be careful. We love support, but never take it too far. But it was humbling. It was a special moment, but it was even more special when you get the phone call from Mr. Davis, that you're the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
More questions, guys? Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for coming, community staff.
Thank you.